Hey everybody, quick video here with the Witch Doctor LoN build. Just wanted to give you a variant in the build that I've been using last season, season 10, which I think is pretty neat. Haven't used it with the Vooz Juicer, got a really nice Vooz Juicer, so eventually I might try that in order to push even higher tiers. Um, Last season we completed, I think, a 109. Yeah, 109 in about, I think it was 13 minutes, 12 minutes and a half or 13 minutes. Fairly low paragons, 1400 paragons. So I guess that this could be used for obviously higher whenever we'll start getting good maps and obviously now non-season I'm almost 2000 paragons, which is pretty nice. So essentially, what I'm using the variant. So standard setup, as you can see here. I'm using the barber though for now, which I might switch to the Vooz Juicer eventually, and just because I feel that right now this setup is the most I would say comfortable, if I can use that term, because with the 5 additional stacks of Soul Harvest, plus obviously the Lakumbas, you get so much toughness, which gives you a lot more leeway with the barb for the Ignore Pain. Also prevents you from using the, if I look at my cube, I'm using the Mask of Jerem, and I have just got a GG on Dariel's Visage. Don't look at the Cal Caldison or whatever the expression is. Just the Andariel is just GG with all the stats that I need. So so yeah, so you get 20% more cold technically based on the build that I'm using, and Jerem in cube, Secret Harvester in cube also, and I'm equipping the Barber. So I think it's fairly equivalent to Vooz Juicer. Maybe there's more DPS with Vooz Juicer if we try to push even higher. I guess that we'll be able to do more than 110 this season, this during LoN season at least. Um, okay, I'll explain to you what I'm doing. As you can see, if you were taking note, I have some hexing pants here. Why am I using the hexing pants? Well, there's something with the hexing pants that if you do correctly, I'm not saying it's completely, um, how can I say, if officially you can do this, but I'll show you what I'm doing and I'll tell you how I'm doing it also. So I'm using hexing pants. As you can see here, if I move, my damage moves up by 25%. This is by skill. So increased by skill. So you get 25% increased damage by the hexing pants. Now, you're saying, well, if I Spirit Barrage, if I click on Spirit Barrage, I'm not proccing the hexing pants. Now, if you move, you see here for a bit, I would say about 0.4 seconds, Spirit Barrage, sorry, not Spirit Barrage, but your hexing pants, they give you the additional damage by skills. Now, this is where it gets tricky. How to do this without um, getting the negative effect? Well, if you're using certain software that I won't explain or give links or whatever, you can actually do this, which is if I click, you see here, most of the time, if you look at my DPS here, it's always at max DPS. Not all the time, I would say 90%, 95% of the time, it's at max DPS. It varies a lot, which allows me to get 25% increased damage by skill. Now, some would say, why don't you add Grasp of the Dead and Sacrifice, which gives you an additional, I think it's 20 or 25, whatever. The reason why I'm not doing that is because, well, for two reasons. One is offensive, and the other one is defensive. So this allows me to free up 2 slots in my skill bars. So I have Spirit Walk, and also I have Big Bad Voodoo. Now, Spirit Walk is your nice defensive skill. When you don't have that, I mean, if you don't play with a GG Barb, GG Monk, you're gonna die. And dying is less DPS, which is logical. Moltens, you're gonna die in Moltens. If you're not, I mean, and also what happens most of the time when you're playing Voodoo Juicer, especially at lower Paragons, is you have to compensate. So right now I'm playing full intelligence gems. Now I'm not saying if you're like 4,000 Paragons, then that's different. But right now I'm playing all intelligence gems. So I can also have a Spirit Walk, which is defensive, and I also have Big Bad Voodoo, which increases my damage, and also have my allies by 50%, 15% multiplicative, and also the attack speed, which I think is also multiplicative. Now, what's the good of Big Bad Voodoo if you can't cast it all the time? Well, the difference is, especially in big packs, I'm using Graven Justice, which reduces your cooldowns by 1% for each enemy that you kill within a certain number of yards, which in this case is 20 yards. Now, and also your glow pickup radius, but whatever. So, so this reduces your cooldown of Big Bad Voodoo. So whenever you're DPSing, at some point you're casting your Spirit Walk after you've dotted everything. You're casting not your Spirit Walk, but your Spirit Barrage. You're casting your Big Bad Voodoo, and you get all those buffs right there. Now, this is nice also on the Rift Guardian because you're not doing any damage, so you're completely useless, except at some key moments, maybe once or if you're lucky, twice, you can cast Big Bad Voodoo 2 times and give a nice DPS buff to the, well, wizard if you're playing a certain build that I won't talk about with the wizard, or if you're standard, playing standard, which is going to be the case in Season 11, you're going to be playing with the Demon Hunter, Impel Demon Hunter. So the Big Bad Voodoo really helps in order to increase that DPS and give that little edge in order to save some time on the Rift Guardian. So anyways, hope this video helps. If you have any questions, feel free to write them down. And once again, happy looting, and see you in Season 11. Alright, bye.